Hello, welcome to our shop. In this shop, we have room for roughly 25 experienced cabinet makers and 4 apprentices. In England, there are roughly 200 families that make up the nobility of this fair land, and they love the new French style. For their furnishing and furniture, the nobility patronize 3 shops, including Thomas Chippendale, Mathis Locke, and mine. Right now, the nobility is asking for furnishings with elaborate decorations, showing off our light-hearted 18th century bling. But a visit to my shop lately is not complete unless you see my latest apprentice in action. Oh, here he is. Mr. Courtenay originally came from Dublin and has been with us for 6 years. His actions were precise and deliberate, shaving off just enough to create the proper reflection in the daylight. Now, wouldn't that look good over the door to your dining room? Let's go this way to the front. Later that day, Hercules looked disturbed. He and his master discussed Courtenay's final year as an apprentice. Both men then set some deadlines and agreed to set his appointment with a London guild to judge his competence. Courtenay worked hard on this project, and his master encouraged him at every step. There was never a doubt that your project exceeded our standards.
Yes, good job, Dad.
That night, Courtenay felt about 10 feet tall. He celebrated at the local pub, and then he read the evening paper.
Well, I guess this is what it's meant to be.
Courtenay really wanted that job, and he went to say goodbye to his master. He entered one of the richest cities in the American colonies that created its wealth with shipping and trade. His new employer was Benjamin Randolph, who had one of the most successful cabinet shops in Philadelphia, featuring the Rococo style.
Welcome to Philadelphia.
His shop was located on Chestnut Street near the port, and he had at least 5 joiners, 2 carvers, and several apprentices. After Mr. Courtenay's tour, Mr. Randolph explained that the shop needed an experienced carver to add decorative features to a new townhouse owned by Mr. Powel.
Hey mate, it's coming down.
And he hoped that Mr. Courtenay would help with the renovation. Courtenay drew a Rococo pattern on the mahogany from one of his old master's books. He then began to remove the unneeded wood and outline acanthus leaves. At the end of the project, he thanked Mr. Powel for the opportunity. Within a few years, Mr. Powel was appointed mayor of Philadelphia. Courtenay was invited to the mayor's open house. As he entered the front door, he noticed the grand staircase. On the staircase, he saw the brackets that he had made for each step. At the top of the stairs, he saw the corpels that he had spent so much time.
I love it.
Courtenay had created the mantel centerpiece that depicted the moment of truth in Aesop's fable of the dog and shadow, which he was paid £60. Several guests praised his work, and soon he joined the party, departing late in the night with lots of pride. Years later, after the Revolution, he would tell his grandchildren that guests admired his woodworking in the same room where George Washington danced. In 1769, Benjamin Randolph, our cabinet maker, attended the wedding of another up-and-coming power couple, the Cadwaladers. The new family merged the wealth of the large property ownership by the bride with a prosperous merchandising business by the husband. couple purchased a 3-story mansion that measured 38 by 41 feet on 2nd Street. It was lacking furniture and needed furnishings. Prior to leaving on our honeymoon, the young wife left a list of needed furniture. A few days later, Randolph signed a contract with a new groom. The groom also signed a contract with Thomas Affleck to provide additional furnishing. Since the table and chairs all would include cabriole legs with carved knees, Mr. Randolph called together his joiners. He asked for the joiners to cut some 4 by 4 inch slices of mahogany for the future leg planks. Then they smoothed out each leg with rasps and scrapers.
I think I'm almost there.
One of the first pieces that was completed was Courtenay's card table with nicely developed knee carvings. One of the other carvers, John Pollard, completed this base to a high chest. These pieces were placed in the new parlor. The next item was the mass production of side chairs with all the French-style decorations. The absolute number is lost to history. All 3 carvers, and maybe some from the Affleck shop, made all the chairs needed for the 3 parlors, the dining room, and many of the bedrooms. These 2 are a sample of the fine work that was produced. They are recognized as some of the finest ever made. It is assumed that these chairs were placed in the Cadwalader house, and then later the furniture moved as relatives moved around the country and overseas. Years later, these chairs were involved in a huge controversy in 1934. 5 chairs appeared in Ireland without a label, and historians ask if these chairs were made in Britain or in America. Luckily, the issues were resolved with the discovery of Mr. Randolph's ledger in the New York City Public Library by the curator of the Philadelphia Museum. But with all the beautiful furniture and the love of a family, the story still had to close in 1776, for the wife died in childbirth and the husband was pulled into the war, never to return to reside in this house.